Welcome to the Wellness Collective, where real people come for real self-care. Our hosts are Varner Spencer, CRNA, joined by Dr. Jans Taylor, nurse practitioner, and James Perkins, mental health counselor. Each episode, we keep it honest and practical, mind, body, and everyday life, so you can take what you hear and use it right away. Breathe, balance, become self-care for real life, one episode at a time.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome back to the Wellness Collective. I am Dr. Jans Taylor.
I am Varner Spencer, nurse anesthetist and the owner of the Healing Consultant.
I'm your favorite therapist, James Perkins, owner of Intentional Living Counseling Group.
All right. How are we doing this evening?
We're doing well.
James?
Yes.
I'm good. I'm rested, fed. So I
Okay.
think I'm doing good.
Yeah, just a little bit about who we are, though. I want to share the Wellness Collective. We are a space for people who are ready to slow down and want to take care of themselves, to look at some approaches to wellness. And so as a nurse practitioner here, I own the IV hydration business and I'm all things wellness. We have our good friend, Miss Varner here, who has all the CBD products that helps you, get yourself all the way together. We got James here. So put us all three together. You have our Wellness Collective.
We have mind, body, and spirit.
That's right.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
I'm excited.
Excited. So
Ready to get into it?
ready to get into it.
Okay. I think we're first going to start talking about our hot topics first.
Yes.
What we got going on, y'all? What we want to talk about?
So there's a couple of things that we've been talking about, hot topics. A couple of things. We have what they call the cortisol face.
Yes. Oh, we all seen that.
Yeah.
We all walking around with that.
That is very much true.
The stress levels we got going on.
The cortisol phase, that is a new one. The internet is undefeated.
Very
We're
much.
always coming up with new terms.
They never let us down, I tell you that.
Yes. We always talk about that. I mean, we see it every day, don't we?
We do.
I mean, we do.
Right.
Yeah, I know we do.
Right.
And you see the aftermath, James, the puffiness, the swelling, the inflammation.
all
You
of
see
it.
right?
So what exactly is the cortisol phase?
Mhm.
Let's talk about what that might look like and what that means. So for people who not really sure, we all know cortisol. We know we talk about it as like the stress hormone,
It is.
that
It is.
that can regulate your mood, your metabolism. It affects a lot of things. It can cause
Mhm.
inflammation.
It's that fight or flight thing
Right.
that we all have going on.
Right.
And we are all like fleeing.
Fighting,
So
flying and fighting.
yeah, we are. We are literally doing that for our lives.
Very much so every day.
Yes. That fatigue,
Yes.
that chronic fatigue that we all have
Mhm.
going on.
Yep.
Because our cortisol levels are just consistently and constantly
Mm-hmm.
at this elevated height.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know?
Mm-hmm.
So we all look like we got like little moon baby faces going on.
Well, I think I've been that way since birth, so I might need to go get checked.
My face is slender. I'm not claiming no cortisol face.
No, we're not claiming you. Because see, that's
Mhm.
actually counterintuitive for what you do. See, we come to you with the puffy face.
Okay, so that we can get rid of that. We can get the slim face like James got.
We need to bring down our
Look,
level. That's what we're talking about.
it's a real thing.
Yes.
It is.
It's
Have
a
you
real
heard
thing.
about it?
I have, when you guys said, I was like, man, it's amazing how these terms are starting to evolve.
Mhm.
I think probably with the increase in like mental health language and social media space, some of these terms are like commonly now, circulating.
Mhm.
And so with this cortisol, it's a really big deal because it impacts our nervous system. And when you're in obviously a chronic state where you always have cortisol flooding your system,
Mhm.
it ain't gonna be good for nobody.
No. It
And
never-
Right.
yeah, so people will be showing up very irritable, like you said, cranky, fatigue, all those things. We'll probably get into that later, but it's a real thing for sure.
Absolutely. Because, because we always talk about, our sleep cycles. We always talking about, how we're moving through this world, how we're
Right.
navigating through all this.
Right.
And we're chronically, we chronically have these high cortisol levels because you're constantly in a fight or flight mode.
Right. And that, I hear a lot of people talk about a lot of inflammation in their body and they don't know why. Well, partly, we always talk about hormones, which play a huge part in, especially women.
Absolutely.
At that certain age, our body is just like wreaking havoc and we don't know what's going on.
No, we don't. We don't. And especially, let's be honest, especially Black women.
Yes. Yep.
I mean, we carry all that.
We do.
We
And we
carry
keep going because we think it's normal.
Yes. Because that's all we know.
Right. Right.
That is literally all we know.
Yep.
And that is where we operate.
Yep.
Well, a lot of us operate.
And we think it's, even say like I one time I was so anemic, but I was operating on that low level blood that I had. And I had all these symptoms thinking, it's like, stress, overweight, all these things when actually our bodies actually, learn to adjust.
Yes.
Well, because what we're dealing with.
Yes, because our body is always try their darndest to strike some sort of balance.
Right.
And we never, it's like we never get there.
Yep.
And it's because we're not taking care of ourselves.
Yep.
And we don't recognize it for what it is.
So we're walking around with these high cortisol levels and they're showing everywhere. And we're still going because now our body's gotten used to us functioning that way until you can get to your doctor and figure out exactly what's going on with you.
Yes. But the wonderful thing about our bodies is that it tells us through phases. I mean, it really does.
Yep.
It forever is saying, hey, look at me.
Right.
I'm about to blow. I'm about to go, and I think that's our biggest thing is that we ignore the signs.
Right. And then we don't talk about it because, you go to the doctor and you can go in, you're getting, just your physical or something, or say you got high blood pressure, you going in and you're getting your blood pressure checked. Well, I got to make an appointment to get something else checked because you can only see them about that one thing. But that's the benefit of us, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
So you come and you get all the things that you need,
Yes.
But your body's already telling the story, and that's the thing. Is like your body. Diesel Van Buck has his book, The Body Keeps Score, and he says your body, like your words may betray you, but your body won't lie. Like your body is going to be telling the truth 100% of the time, even when you may try to hide it with your words, as we're saying, like the cortisol face, right? Your face is already telling you stuff before it's already speaking for you sometimes before you even open up your mouth.
That's what we're trying to say
into a
here.
room. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about heart health and kind of what that looks like. So, as African Americans, we see a lot of heart disease, especially in your family. People experience like different issues that could be heart related, and they may not understand that. And so what I want to stress to people, we talked about the cortisol, the high levels of inflammation, the hormones, all those things that can lead to stress can also lead to issues with the heart.
Oh, absolutely.
The prolonged stress, chronic stress that you mentioned, that definitely can lead to heart issues. And, when we think about ways to prevent that heart disease, we look at diet and exercise. Sometimes those things aren't enough. You need to really know your health history, your family history, because some of those diseases can be related to family history. And so one thing that I do want to encourage, us as African Americans, particularly women of color, when it comes to issues of the heart, particularly heart attacks.
Oh, absolutely. I think that what people have to truly understand is that the heart is responding to this nervous system that you have that is revved up.
Right.
I mean, it's responding to that. It's your nervous system. And it responds to those high cortisol levels. It responds to the stress. It responds to the depression. It responds to the inactivity. It responds to all of it. And that's what your heart is doing.
Right.
And that is your heart health.
Right. And someone mentioned the other day, asked about like high blood pressure, chronic stress, inflammation, cortisol levels, all those things we just talked about, increases your risk for hypertension, which can lead to symptoms of like heart attack. And then for women, let's talk about that.
Oh, yes.
Because, you hear always the classic chest pain, chest pressure that radiates to the jaw. But also for women, those symptoms may present totally different. So some women can experience more like, sometimes we call it like reflux type symptoms.
Oh, yes. Acid reflux.
Mhm.
We do the chronic fatigue. And since we live in a chronic fatigue area,
Right.
we don't think anything about that.
Right.
We don't think about the shortness of breath.
Mhm.
We don't think about that it's jaw pain.
Right.
That we don't think that, we don't do the classic signs.
Mhm. Mhm.
We just don't.
Yep.
I've seen women that presents with abdominal pain.
Yes.
With it's just and it's so vague to them that they don't understand that
Right.
that these are
The
signs and
faint feeling.
symptoms.
I just learned of
Yes.
someone that passed away that felt, were feeling faint, and all of a sudden they just like fainted and
Wow.
unfortunately passed away. So, it's important when you're doing a lot of things that you need to learn to take care of yourself, but also take care of your heart because you're
Yes.
getting one of them. Sometimes you can get two, but if it's too late,
Not if they don't catch the first one.
that's.
I'm sick. You don't have the opportunity to get a second one.
But you mentioned heart failure. You got to know the symptoms.
Yes.
So even when we talk about the cortisol phase, sometimes that can be inflammation from heart failure.
Oh,
That you
absolutely.
experience in your body. So heart failure basically doesn't mean it just means your heart isn't pumping adequately enough to keep the blood flow going through your body. So that fluid, your heart is important. So that's why
The swelling in those ankles.
yeah.
I mean, all of that.
Mhm.
Don't laugh. Don't laugh, y'all, because y'all think, oh, it's just I ate too much
Yeah,
salt.
you need to cut back on the
I
salt.
need to cut back on the salt.
It ain't always that salt.
It
Too much
ain't always
sodium.
salt, y'all.
Okay, that fried chicken.
It's
all
not
good,
it
but
ain't always, yeah.
yeah,
It ain't always just that salty meal you ate the night before. They cause all that sweat.
Mm.
And I
right.
think
It plays a
so-
part in it, but
Absolutely.
it's a big piece of it.
Absolutely.
Mhm, mhm.
We have to understand, that's a whole show talking about high blood pressure.
Right. Right.
High blood pressure and sugar.
Sugar.
And the sugar.
We can do 3 episodes on that.
Okay.
Yes.
Me and sugar been fighting all my life.
Yes.
All my life I had to fight.
Yeah.
All my life I had to fight sugar.
Yeah, to fight the sugar.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
We're joking about it, but it's a real thing in our
It's
community.
very, very, and people younger are seeing
Yes.
issues. So it's not just an old person disease.
No.
It's honestly not a colored disease, but you see more of that in the African American community. So ladies, gentlemen, please get checked.
Absolutely. And we're seeing it in our babies.
Yes.
Because
Oh, gosh,
I've
yes.
treated a 5-year-old that weighed 102 pounds. That's not healthy, people.
Wow.
This is a thing in our
Right.
community.
Right.
You cannot feed your child a pound of bacon, 6 eggs, and 6 pieces of toast every
Ooh.
morning.
Mm.
That's not healthy.
Mm.
I'm
Wow.
saying, people, it's not healthy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're setting that poor child up for life.
I encourage people to improve their quality of life.
Yes.
Now, I offer IV hydration, which is like administering vitamins and minerals. I do injections like your B12, things like that, weight loss. Those things can help. But for people that are experiencing those type symptoms, I will not give you fluids, especially if you have
No.
heart failure, because
No.
that is a clinical disaster.
It's a medical emergency.
Absolutely. And so the last thing you want to do is keep adding salt to your diet and letting anyone put extra fluid on you, because that's a recipe for
Absolutely.
a not so good outcome.
Absolutely.
So find ways to improve your quality of life. Sleep, quality of sleep. What ways can you reduce your stress?
Well, that's the way we come. That's where we come in at.
Yes.
We talk about because we talk about at the healing consultant. We always talk about sleep.
Mm-hmm.
We always talk about setting up a healthy environment, taking time out for yourself.
Absolutely.
That's the core of the healing consultant.
Mm-hmm.
And that's giving you those type of tools.
Yep.
To decrease the stress.
Yep.
To decrease the anxiety, to hopefully set yourself up
Mm-hmm.
so that you can just, I always say gear down.
Right.
Gear down. And create and get some sort of balance in your
Mm-hmm.
life.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what I add to that.
Yep.
to that picture for everyone who's listening and watching
Right.
is that setting yourself up for success.
Absolutely.
Bringing down those cortisol levels.
Mhm.
But I always say, if you're having signs and symptoms, you better go see somebody, baby.
Like now.
You better stop at
Mhm.
your local
ED
emergency
or
room.
wherever. Get some
Yes.
treatment.
Yes.
Yep.
And I think that's how that works. And setting intention.
Right.
And moving through your day with intention.
Right.
And I think that's what all of us
Mhm.
have to do
Yep.
to decrease that stress in our lives.
Yep. Yep.
I think that's important.
Absolutely.
And that, you know how I feel it. That's through drops. That's through meditation. That's through,
Mhm.
those aches and pains, inflammation, y'all, them joints.
Yep.
Y'all better go get my salve. Joints. Y'all know what I'm talking about when I say inflammation in your joints.
Mhm.
Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Don't act like you don't. But yes, all of this
Mhm.
helps you. All of this helps people set themselves up for success. It takes a community and a
Right.
village.
And better health and
Yes.
better wellness, because that's
Yes.
what you're striving for. All these things, these life stressors, find
Absolutely.
ways to get that done.
Yes.
You got to take a moment to breathe.
Yes. And that leads directly into when we're deciding to, address the mind, body, and the spirit.
Mhm.
We're talking about
The whole person.
yes, we're talking about a whole holistic person. And part of that is getting your mind right.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
decreasing that stress.
Yep.
And so that's exactly how did James take us home. Talk about the stress about that. About getting
Look.
that mind right.
Get the mind right.
Body right.
One thing I think is really important, and I forget where I got this statement from, but the summation of it essentially is you can't fix downstream problems or downstream symptoms while ignoring upstream causes.
Yeah.
You can't fix downstream symptoms while ignoring upstream causes when it comes to stress. And because it really is a inflammation event. And the metaphor I use is like your body. It's amazing how like creatively God has designed our bodies.
Right.
The body doesn't tell the difference in our nervous system. Talk about our nervous system.
Mhm.
Our nervous system doesn't register the difference between a lion chasing us and someone where we're in a relationship with, and there's some type of relational threat. Our nervous system doesn't distinguish the difference.
Right.
That's right.
It activates the same system,
Mhm.
Yep.
right?
Right.
And so Lily, for some people, I mean, and I'll share this.
Yeah.
You got people that are in your environment that are stress inducers.
Absolutely.
And,
Very much so.
so
Bringing
one of the
joy and pain.
solutions, right? Look, and it's a very real solution. I'm not being dismissive. So,
Yeah.
but for a lot of people, sometimes one of the very realist solutions is you need to start paying attention to how your nervous system responds when you're in the environment of certain people.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Because it's still a stress response.
It's still a stress response. And it doesn't mean they're necessarily bad, but if this person is always bringing negative energy, like every time you're around them, they have nothing positive to say. As we say, grandma would say, negative Nancy.
Yep.
You might need like to limit your exposure to them.
Right.
Right.
Literally. One solution. Some of the other things I think are very natural. They're very simple. Deep breathing 2 or 3 times a day. Sometimes I do it. I do at least 2 or 3 times a day. Sometimes it requires more because I'm getting dysregulated more. And that's just the honest truth.
Yeah.
And especially if my parents who are out there, they will know you get dysregulated really, really quickly and have to do some deep breathing.
Absolutely. I do it all.
That's a
I
good
do it all
point.
day long.
Yeah. I don't do it enough, but I know, like in a previous environment, I was at work. I'll say that.
Yeah, you can say that.
Yeah, I was at work. And
stress inducing.
We ain't got to know their name.
I know.
Work.
No.
The name is work.
That's it. Her name.
Yes,
But
it's work.
I'm usually, pretty calm and well-centered, collected, like I'm always like upbeat and all that stuff. But this one particular day I kept thinking like, and this is another trigger, like some people experience like such severe anxiety that it can feel like,
It can be like a heart attack.
Yeah. And I kept thinking like, why is my chest hurting so bad? And I
Hmm.
noticed I walked outside, like I called my husband. I was like, I don't know what's happening. Like my chest is hurting. But it was something that triggered. And it's a person that I used to work with.
Mhm.
Love her dearly. I realized like she triggered something. And it's not always,
Mhm.
but I was in a, you know, when you're going through life stress and then you got
Yeah.
somebody here, the sky is always falling.
Mhm.
Always.
Mhm.
Yes.
And you're like,
Mhm.
today ain't the day that it's falling. And I don't
Mhm.
want to
Mhm.
hear it. And so it
Mhm.
triggered something and that fight or flight, but it made me have chest pain
Mhm.
almost all day. And I told my supervisor, I said, I would never come to work if I experienced that again.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you do have to recognize that.
Yes.
Mhm. Your body will oftentimes, if you're in that space consistently,
Yeah.
before you even get to the location, sometimes when you get in your car, your body's physiological state can switch
Mhm.
because it knows where it's going and it's
Yeah.
trying to prepare for that event, that space. Um, am I chopping up? Hopefully I'm not
Nope, you're
chopping up.
good.
No,
Okay, yeah. And so to your point, yeah, you have to be really watchful of that, and this I don't have to repeat it, but I think it still is probably common that unresolved trauma,
Yes.
some of the relational events that we just haven't processed, all of
Mhm.
those are the primary, most often the primary contributors to the stress,
Mhm.
which escalates the cortisol, which keeps us in a constant state
Mhm.
of hypervigilance, which then impacts the heart. It is like literally corroding it.
It's a
Right.
physiological event.
Right.
It doesn't, and your body, you're right. The body doesn't understand whether it's fight, whether it's flight, whether it's joy, whether it doesn't know. It's just a physiological event that's happening to you.
Mhm.
And the mind controls that. The mind
Mhm.
controls those, I
How
always
you
say,
respond.
you got to know your pathophysiology. But it controls those
Mhm.
physiological events that happen to
Yep.
you.
And then when you start to experience those, and that's good that you said that too about, you getting in your car and your body automatically knows I'm going to this place. There may, as you mentioned before, now you might need to look at your surroundings, your environment, because sometimes things may need to change. And it might not be the things in your environment that will change, but maybe you need to change your environment.
Yes. Because not everyone can just go in and quit.
Right.
I mean,
Yep.
not everyone can go in and quit.
Yep.
And I think that's the important thing is that we provide an area for people, a safe space so they can talk about it,
Mm-hmm.
so they can, so they can listen and they can hopefully, pick out bits and pieces that apply to themselves
Right.
and, seek help or seek, better, just to do
Mhm.
better.
Yep. Yep.
You
And
know?
then, you have to make a choice too sometimes. Like
It is.
one year I was like, look, I'm cutting everybody off. January 1st, I don't even want to talk to you. Phone
Mhm.
ring and I'm like, I'm good. But you have to do
Mhm.
that sometimes because you have to like collect yourself.
Absolutely.
Because you can't be everything to everybody and nothing to yourself.
I told y'all there's so many good bucks you're gonna give a day.
Okay.
I keep telling y'all that.
You
True.
said something I think was critical, and I want to speak to that
Well,
about people having to work because they have needs,
mhm.
and they can't afford to, like you said, just quit and do what they wanted to. That's a very real thing I think for a lot of people.
Right.
And what most often comes with that is this feeling of their agency being taken away, the feeling of feeling like my agency is being taken away because I have to come to this workplace and I have to endure whatever either treatment or environment that I'm in. And one of the things I remind people is like, no one can take away your right to choose how you're going to show up.
Yeah.
It's true.
Like that is your choice. And when you realize that and it takes time for some people to get to that point where they realize like, yeah, they may be set in some of these conditions in which I'm working, but they don't control how I'm going to show up. They don't get to control my attitude, my perspective.
Absolutely.
That alone can shift the whole nervous system game
Yeah,
because
yeah.
now that you're not perceiving it as a threat.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And this is why y'all need to go see James.
Yes. Well,
I'm
that's
available.
something.
Yeah,
Yes. And
I
that's why
might need to come see you, James.
for sure. I got you.
Yes. mean, and that's important because
Yeah.
I think what people don't understand is that, these are all responses to your nervous system. Your nervous system is overwhelmed. It is being ran over.
Right.
It is just, it's trying. It's like the little engine that could. It's trying its
It's
darndest.
running out of gas.
It is. It
Mhm.
is. And it's just blinking, it's blinking the light saying, I'm out of gas, people.
Yep.
This is how I'm showing up. I'm stressing you out. I'm swelling up.
Mm-hmm.
Your heart's beating
Giving
fast.
you chest pains.
I'm giving you chest pain.
Like all
Yes.
those signs, and it's real.
Yes, those are real.
I mean, very real.
It's the check engine light.
It is. And you take, and I always make this statement, that I share with people when I talk. Most of us all drive cars, right? You put gas in your car often, you get your oil changed, you get your tires changed. You go clean your car up.
Yes.
Do you do your body the same way?
Well, that's the problem.
Do you give it what it needs to keep going? No, because if you don't put gas in there, guess what? You're gonna run out and you're gonna be on the side of the road. So you have to give your body those same things. And it's not just what you're putting in your body, it's what's in your mind. So when we talk about putting stuff in your body, listen, I have a whole wellness center, IV therapy. You'd be amazed at how that will fuel you up in many ways than one.
Yes.
Come and get some self-care time. Not only IV hydration, but take time for yourself.
Absolutely.
Get you some B12 because that's going to give you some good energy, help with your brain fog. I had a lady the other day just say it helped with her headache. Like she felt so amazing. But also, again, take time for yourself. Do all those things on the inside that will help bring all those things,
Absolutely.
to
I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Is that we are addressing, we're looking at the whole body
Yes.
as a holistic
Mm-hmm.
entity
Yep.
because you are.
Yep.
You're composed of so many elements.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a really wonderful machine. We really are.
Very much so.
But we have to try to stay in balance.
Mhm.
And your body wants to do that.
Yep.
It spends its time constantly trying to put your butt in balance.
Right.
And it's saying to you, hey, I need
Let
this.
me breathe.
Yeah, it's saying I need this, I need this, I need this.
Yes.
I think that we all, through various ways are trying to give you what your body is asking you for.
Yep.
We're just teaching you how to listen.
That's it.
You have to listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I talk about, decreasing your anxiety, the depression, the physical things like the inflammation, the pain, all of those are factors in your wellness, in your journey to your wellness, to living this life, differently.
And how you want to live. You want to live
Yes.
and you want to be able to do all the things that you enjoy doing and not, be in pain or suffer or have any issues. Life is short.
It truly is. And we are nothing but just a grain of salt, honey, on the
That's it.
sand. And that's all you are. I mean, and if you think about that, your time on this earth is that
Limited.
quick. Yes. You need to enjoy it. You need to have
Absolutely.
good, healthy years.
Mhm.
Yep. You don't have a problem with living to 91, but I'll be damned if I'm gonna live it, in a bed.
Right.
I mean, come on, pay attention to your body. We are trying to give you things to help you pay attention to your body.
Yep.
That's all. That's all we're trying to do in life.
Yep. We just talked about all things wellness. We talked about your heart health. We talked about cortisol issues, level, stress, all those good things. So we encourage you to reach out to us. You can find me at embodyhydration.com, on Instagram at embodyhydration. You can also find me on Facebook at Embody Hydration and Wellness.
Well, y'all know this is the healing consultant, better known as Auntie V on my social media. And please, by all means, call, write, drop on the website, holla at a sister, but not too much. Don't be in my DMs. Okay. But please.
People sliding into your DMs. Let me
Don't be
find out.
doing that mess now.
You can if you got a question about coming in, because we do consultations.
Well, yeah, but see, that's a consultation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, don't be
Don't be-
worrying
We
us.
want some other type of consultations.
Yes. I don't even know.
We charge for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
No.
Charge for that.
They can't afford this.
Oh my G. OMG.
Oh,
My name is James Perkins. You can find me at jamesperkins.help. James Perkins Inspires on Instagram. Yeah. I would love to chat with you, see how I can support you on your journey.
absolutely.
All right. Well, guys, we thank you so much for joining us. Again, you know where to find us. We will see you next time.